Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another achievement guide. Today we're covering card counter in Diablo 2 Resurrected. This is an achievement that requires you to gamble a unique item. And so on its face, it's very simple. You go to any one of the gambling spots in each of the acts throughout any town, throughout any difficulty, gamble an item, and if that item happens to roll unique, you get the achievement to pop. Sounds very simple, and in concept it is. However, in practice, the odds of any single item rolling as a unique are 1 in 2,000. So that's a big slot machine. That's what this achievement is. Basically, pull the lever on the slot machine enough times until you hit the jackpot. Now, of course, you can do that randomly. You can do it willy-nilly and gamble on random items, and eventually, yep, it'll just happen. However, what I'm going to do in the rest of this achievement guide is try and give you some tips on how to focus and do this most efficiently and quickly and spending the least amount of resources as possible. So, the very short version, too long didn't watch, what do? Get a character to level 11, and then go, and you'll be in Act 1 probably, go to Guide and gamble on daggers, plain daggers, not Dirks or whatever the other version is. It's a dagger at level 11. I believe it costs 1,607 gold, and then you can gamble very efficiently. They're just a 2x1 piece, so you can fit 20 of them in your inventory, clear out your entire inventory. You can buy 20 at once, sell them all back, buy 20 more. So you should expect to buy 2,000 daggers, and if you do that, buy them, sell them back at that price at level 11, you can expect to spend about 2.5 million in gold. So do that, grind it out long enough, and you will get the achievement. Now, there is a little bit more to that if you want to stick around for some details. Why level 11? Well, that's because the item level to get Gull Dagger to show up requires level 6, and then your gambling level can take 5 off of your actual character level to gamble that item. So an item that you gamble when you're level 11 can be as low as level 6. So this way, if you're level 11, every single dagger that you gamble will be eligible to be a Gull dagger. Not that it will be, just that it could be. So you're getting that 1 in 2,000 dice roll every single time. If you go above level 11, level 12, 13, of course you're still eligible to get the dagger. However, every single level you go up, the price of your gambling for items goes up as well. So instead of spending 1,607 gold per dagger, you're going to be spending much more. Each level, it goes up fairly significantly. So what about the discount items? What about an edge bow? What about a Guide's charm? Well, you can't use them at level 11, and if you level up to the level which you could use them, you're not making out in terms of the price increase from the levels being offset by the discount. It just doesn't make sense. So are there other items you could do instead of daggers? Sure. You want to gamble for the club, the fell oak or whatever it is, go for it. But I do believe the fell oak is, the club gamble is slightly more than the dagger gamble, but you can do it, I think, 1 level less. So maybe it pans out for you, but it's also a 3x1 instead of a 2x1. So now you can't fit 20 of them in your window every time you buy and then sell. So it's probably going to increase your time by a lot. So maybe you'll pinch some pennies, but you're going to spend some extra time in terms of gambling and selling. So now that we have all of the details out of the way, how do we actually do this? Well, the way that I like to do it, again, this is for the Xbox version of the game. If you're on PC, you've got much quicker ways of like clicking and selling and holding shift or control, right? It's going to be much faster. But if you're using a controller and if you're on Xbox, there are certain kind of limitations to the inputs that we're allowed to use. So the way that I like to get this set up is I refresh, which we can do with a single button click now, which is great. So I refresh Guides until there's a dagger and it's in the lowest bar of his window. And even more preferably if it's in the lowest left corner. So it's the farthest away from your inventory, but at the bottom of his window. And then what you can do is use the D-pad. I found that to be much more precise and much faster than trying to bump the joystick and have it land just right. Too many times you're trying to bump, and you'll miss hit, or you'll move a little too far, or you'll push and hold and you won't release right. I found the D-pad much better because just one push on the D-pad bumps you over 1 square. So if you're using the dagger in the lower left corner, you can gamble the dagger and you just tap A, tap A, tap A. You'll fill up your inventory with 20 daggers. And if you get the dagger, it will pop, right? The achievement, as soon as you go in there, you don't have to like look at it. Daggers, items self-identify when you gamble them. So there shouldn't be an extra step. If you gamble it, it'll show up in your inventory. And before you even look at it, if you're just buying the rest of the 20, before you get over there, you should have the achievement pop. So you're gambling the dagger, boom, 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 boom. You fill up 20 slots in your inventory, and then you can just hold right on the D-pad or just press, rapid fire press right on the D-pad. Your cursor will slide over, and it'll be lined up right with one of your rows of daggers for you to sell. And then I think it's the top row that it'll line up on. So then you can just push and hold to sell, tap the D-pad to the next one, push and hold to sell, boom, 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 until you get to the end. Then just tap down on the D-pad, you'll go to the next row and come back to the left, sell, 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 and then just hold left on the D-pad and you'll rapid fire move all the way over to the corner and you'll stop on the dagger if it's in that corner. So again, that's cutting off a second or 2 or 3 per run, but there could be tons of these runs that you have to do to get the dagger. So earlier I mentioned it's a 1 in 2,000 chance, but there is absolutely no guarantee that you're going to get it within that first 2,000. I know I certainly didn't. Diablo 2 is an old school game. There are no pity timers. There are no guarantees. RNG means RNG. So I spent much more than the 2.5 expected million gold. I was close to, if not over, 10 million gold. I was tracking it pretty closely early on, and then at some point I got to like my 3rd or 4th full 2.5 million transferred to my low-level mule character, and then I just like, oh my gosh, I was starting to ballpark it. So around 10 million is what it took for me, and upwards of 3 to 4 hours easily spent gambling. So is it worth it? Is it fun? No. But if you're trying to get the achievement and if you're set on doing it like I was, that's what you can expect the investment to be. So hopefully you found that helpful. Good luck, and maybe you'll get it faster than I will. And if you're using these tips, maybe it'll go even faster than you expected. So thank you for joining me. Good luck gambling in Diablo 2, and hopefully this helps you secure your card counter achievement in Diablo 2 Resurrected. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.